Hi everyone. So we reviewed the Baby Jane and then we reviewed the Mellow Corn. And today we're going to do a blind comparison of both of these. Why both of these? Because they have a lot of similarities, even though one is a corn whiskey and one is a bourbon. So just to recap, the Mellow Corn, which is a $20 bottle at most in New Jersey, is considered a straight corn whiskey. In order to be a straight corn whiskey, the straight obviously is 2 years, but this is a bottle and bond, so we know it's at least 4 years. But it has to be at least 80% corn to be a corn whiskey, and a corn whiskey can be aged in used bourbon barrels or new uncharred oak barrels, unlike with a bourbon, it has to be new charred oak barrels. So this is clearly a straight corn whiskey. Baby Jane has, it was very hard to find the mash bill. I got mixed information, but the information I had from two different sources showed that it was 80% corn. And that would be qualification for a corn whiskey, except for the fact that this is called a bourbon. And my guess is that it's a bourbon because it definitely was aged in new charred oak barrels, so that can be labeled a bourbon, even though it does have the threshold to be a corn whiskey as well, but it does have the label of bourbon. So let's go with that. Similarities: mellow corn, 90 mash bill, 90% corn, 10% rye and malted barley mixed. The mash bill I have for the Baby Jane is 80% corn, and that corn is Baby Jane corn. That's their heirloom corn. So that's special. 10% rye and 10% malted barley. So the theme here is definitely corn-forward whiskeys, whether they be labeled a corn whiskey or a bourbon. The definite fact here is that there are heavy majorities of corn in both of these mash bills. Even though Baby Jane I wasn't certain on, but it definitely has a majority of corn. As I said, enough to probably be labeled a corn whiskey, even though it is a bourbon. So it's those similarities. Also the age, bottled and bond 4 years. Baby Jane 4 to 6 years. The bottle and bond is obviously 100 proof. This is 91 proof. That is 9 proof points difference. But the similarities, especially in the profiles with the corn. This is, I guess, regular corn. This is their proprietary heirloom corn. And I'd really like to kind of say this. This is a $20 bottle in Jersey, probably less than other places. And the Baby Jane was about $45 that I paid for it. I've seen it in the mid to upper 40s in New Jersey. I'm not sure what it is in other places. I'd like to see if what I'd like to see is if this is basically 2.5 times as good as this. Just want to kind of see that. I think the best way to do that is a blind. So we're going to pour them in glasses, mix them up, and come right back. Okay, so we have them poured in glasses right here. I do not want to look too closely because I think there may be differences in the color. Once I decide which one is which I like better, then we'll go more into that. So let's just, I'm going to look dead straight ahead so that I don't have any idea what it is. I'm just going to pick this one in my right hand here. Let's give this a nose. Okay, so, all right, the noses are distinct. They're both sweet. This one's a little richer. I think I have an idea already just based on the smell, because there's a very distinct smell in the mellow corn. And it's a very kind of a thinner, I don't want to say cheaper, but it's kind of what it is. All right. I mean, just off the bat, this is a better nose, and I'm thinking this is mellow corn, but let's just go into the taste. Cheers. Cheers. All right. This one is too obvious. Let's just get right into it. This is better. This is the Baby Jane. I have the initials here, so it's kind of funny. Yeah. So anyway, the deal is this. First of all, let's look at the color. I see the Baby Jane as just a little bit darker than the mellow corn. So let's start with that. This is a bourbon. This is a new charred oak barrel. And that new barrel is going to have much more barrel influence than this, which is a used bourbon barrel. That's going to account for the color. Also, this is 4 to 6 years. This is probably 4. This could have let's call it at least another year of aging. And it's funny because I thought this was good, not great, and I still do. But in this particular case, a lot of times I say, Is this really 2.5 times? In this case, I think it is. There's some times where I've said, like, an example of this is when I did the Evan Williams bottled and bond with the Heaven Hill bottle and bond. I thought the Heaven Hill bottle and bond was better, but I didn't think it was 3 times better because one is about 20 and one is about $59, $60. In this case, I think actually this is. I know it's funny because I think this is actually, I think, a little bit higher of this now after putting against this. And again, there's no knock on the Mellow Corn. This is a $20 bottle. Bottled and bond. And the 9 points of proof, even though this is 91 proof and this is 100, that wasn't really it. It's just clear that it's the nose and the taste. This definitely tastes better, but then again, this is $20. So, and this one has been around forever, and this is fairly new. Okay, well, this one is one of those where, yeah, Baby Jane is better. Yes, it's worth double the price, I feel. And there's really not much controversy on this one, but I just thought it was interesting to compare it. They clearly are different, but then again, this is a very, very, it's a very decent budget bottle, found in a lot of places. Heaven Hill, bottled and bond, all that stuff, good value. And this one is not off the charts expensive. It's a little over twice the price, but in this case, I think it's worth it. Again, I'm not saying this is great, but for this comparison, I think, yeah, this is better, and I think it's worth the price. Cheers, take care, more reviews to come.